mix, or it's different. You know, I can add that to my waffle mix if I need to. Do you need to go?
No.
Ask him if it's all okay. Hi guys, we're live. It's the Essential Oil Coach. We were on Zoom, and now we're here. And we're just going through the Slim and Sassy weight management. We talked about the number one being the enemy, which is fat. The number two is a mental mindset. Number three is getting a support system, whether it's grabbing a girl. But number four is the want to do it. Number five is making the choice. You've got to make the choice to live healthier, right? So we've already had the Trim Shake chocolate. We did it with just water in a blender bottle. And then we also made the shake, which you guys can see that. It's nice and frothy and good. Here, I think I'll finish it. Ooh.
It is good. Yep.
Pretty delicious. And for those of you, I used a half a cup of whole milk and some ice, two scoops of the Slim and Sassy Trim Shake right here. You guys, it doesn't have any, it only has 6 grams per scoop of carbs. It has 2 grams of soluble fiber, which is really great. Your sugars are 0, proteins are 8, but when you add it to whole milk, you have 20 grams of protein. It's great for teen athletes. It's a fantastic before, and then also it's a great filler as far as just, you know, maybe for that snack. You know, it's not, you know, in my opinion, the Trim Shakes are not really a meal replacement unless you put a milk of some sort, a nut milk, a cashew milk, an almond, or something like that. I've really kind of deterred away from the soy of any kind, but I just put 5 drops of Slim and Sassy, which is another way that you can drink Slim and Sassy. I'll drink. And it takes 25 drops if you're going to use the Slim and Sassy program to actually lose some weight and curb appetite. 25 drops a day of Slim and Sassy. So that's 3 bottles a month. 250 drops in a bottle. Okay, so when you're doing it, you're also, we didn't have any electricity today, so we're doing it the old-fashioned way. We're doing the slideshow via paper. This is paper. Does everybody know what paper is? So, anyway, you'll see, like I've said, you just start to consume water. I'm not going to be the person that tells you that you have to consume 8 to 16 glasses of water a day. If you're drinking 1 glass of water a day, why don't you try 2? Okay? Because the more water you use, the more you're going to flush the bad toxins out of the body. Okay? So right now, most of us are not using water to our advantage. We're using it to a disadvantage. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we're going to talk about the Lifelong Vitality, which is always great to have a great supplement. And I'm going to tell you why here in just a little bit. We're going to talk about Zindecrine or basil. See what I just did? See, I told you guys. Zindecrine, because it is great for the detox system. It's great for your liver. Your Trim Shake, I already walked you through that. Protein, a great place for a snack right here. Mitomax for energy, and Terrazyme for digestive. It is fantastic. So the other things that we are going to do is, I'm getting ready to make pancakes. But the number one thing that Slim and Sassy does is that it helps uplift the moods and manage cravings. See? The other thing is this was just for you, the chocolate cake. If you're dreaming of chocolate cake, how do you get rid of that dream?
Eat it.
Right. You know, you're not going to hear me say, I'm 32 years, 28 years on a retired coach. If my athletes wanted a piece of chocolate cake, or they wanted cupcakes, or they wanted, you know, yes, you know what? You can have them. You just need to do it in moderation. We just talked about using the chocolate Trim Shake and adding ice cream to it. Why not? But let's do frozen yogurt instead and add the probiotic to it. You're adding a good fat to it, and you're still getting ice cream, you know? So you get a shake. Right? If you want to add a little extra sweetness instead of just opening the sugar, just add some clover honey, or you can even add the sugar this way by the honey crystals. So great ways to do it, and it's just a little easier. You just have to be smart, and you have to be aware and intentional of what you're doing when you shop, right? If you go to the store hungry, what's going to happen?
You buy more.
Right.
You buy more junk.
Right. Or you eat before you go because you're hungry on your way there, or, you know, you go to the deli, you pick out some chicken bites or some chicken strips or potato wedges or whatever.
And eat while you shop.
And you eat while you shop. It's very rare, unless your kids are with you, and then you get the chicken strips and they get the grapes. Okay? So as intentional with our health as we are with our kids. You want to change your mindset. You want to coach your mindset. You want to say, yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can have one Reese's cup. I just can't have 3 king-size candy bars.
And why is she looking at you?
I'm not. I intentionally did not look that way. I was like, no. You know, we can go and have a great burger or cook a great burger. If you cook it on the charcoal, or guess what? It is actually better for you because the fat drips off, right? It's char grilled, okay? You can press it in between some paper towels. You can remove even just a little bit more. You can use chicken with that. You can use chicken and hamburger. You can use pork and hamburger. You can use turkey and hamburger, turkey and chicken. There's lots of ways that you can supplement that all beef patty. But if you're like in my house, an all beef patty's fine. Just try it once a month. You know? See what happens. And of course, with an all beef patty, you have to have French fries or chips. It's okay, just don't eat the whole bag. And if you do eat the whole bag, guess what? Tomorrow's a new day. Try to grab an apple instead, eat a salad instead, maybe drink another glass of water. You know, it's a process. It's a process to fight fat. It's a process to fight the enemy of our mind. It's a process to get our heart in a healthier place. Those are the 3 things that you really need to be concerned about. Don't worry about getting on scales. We don't do scales around here. You know, I have lately because I think it's fun to watch how much I'm losing just by doing something right. And I eat. I have no problem eating. But I would much rather know that my muscle weighs more than my fat did, right? I'm going to finish this bottle. I'm going to be awake for days, people. This is like 13 drops. Okay, so anyway, this is another way to take it. At the very beginning, I was dropping it underneath my tongue, which is sublingually, which is fantastic. But the reason we do that, why? It's because it supports healthy metabolism and fat and energy production. So that is why we do this, you know, because that is the support that we need. And you're going to find that when you are using essential oils that maybe what works for me doesn't work for you or doesn't work for you. Call your coach, call somebody that knows what they're doing and ask them to help you. Because an essential oil is a great organic way to help supplement some other things. We have lemons, we have limes, we even have marjoram and thyme that you can cook with. So you don't have to reach for something that's not an organic product. You know, you can go right to an essential oil. All right? We've already talked about this. All right. So remember the science. The adipogenesis is fewer new fat cells. So when you start to train your mental and you start to train your heart and you start to maybe grab an apple once a week versus grabbing another bag of chips, or you walk a few more steps, right? I'm not saying get out there and run the 26-mile marathon. I'm just saying maybe walk a few more steps. Make it worth your while. Maybe you should sweat. Maybe your heart should beat a little bit more. Okay? That's the way we start burning the bad stuff out of the body. You don't have to go into the gym and just kill yourself. You can walk and be healthy. Skinny doesn't mean healthy. You guys, skinny doesn't mean healthy. So, and I will be emailing each one of you this PDF. So what I want when you get this home in the privacy of yourself, I want you to fill in your balloons. And these are your aspirations, okay? Because what happens with balloons?
They bust.
They bust or
They
deflate. They take it to a new height,
Yeah.
right? So it's an either or. So you're going to find out real quick, you know, what do I eat that is healthy and what do I eat that satisfies me? Did you guys write that down? Because it's super important. If you find that what you are eating that is healthy and it's satisfying to you, guess what? You're on a great level. You're on the big balloon, right? It's going to take you to a whole new level. But if you are eating if you're eating what is healthy and it's not satisfying you, there's normally an emotional overload somewhere. Stress is the #1 cause of cortisol, which is bad fat in your belly. Okay, stress. Stress is emotional. It's hormonal. It can be a toxic workload. It could be toxic in relationships. It could be toxic where you live. It could be that you never, ever achieve a goal. Well, it's time to start. It's time to start winning, right? It's time to start making these balloons. And you notice there's just very few, right? The number one balloon is to reduce the stress in this room. Okay? That's the number one goal in this room. Number one goal in this class, reduce the stress. When you reduce the stress, your body feels better. You're not standing in isolation. You're not being depressed. And this whole area, you know, some people get gaseous with it. Some people have a reflux. Some people have bloating. Some people have diarrhea. Some people have constipation. Some people have heart pains like anxiety, or their eyesight isn't very clear, or maybe they have halitosis. All of that is from stress when we're talking in this area. So all of you MDs and all of you nurses and all of you nutritionists and dietitians, don't come after me. But when you're talking about living healthier, those things do affect, all from stress. People don't realize, oh, that's just the food I'm eating. Wait a minute, I didn't eat any food today. So how do I have gas? Because you're stressing about finances or relationships or the coulda, woulda, shouldas, you know, or whatever that thing is, right? But here's the other wonderful thing. I've given you 1, 2, and 3 for Slim and Sassy, that it supports healthy insulin responses. So guess what? Those of you who have diabetes, it's going to help supplement that support. Isn't that awesome? I think so. You know, and of course, everything that I'm talking to you about essential oils or Slim and Sassy or shoot, any of the big products that are up on the big box and big stores, none of that has been supported or proven by the FDA to cure, heal, or prevent. Do you guys realize that? They've done clinical studies. They've done trials. They've talked to people. People have used it, or maybe they used it on a mouse or a bird or whatever. But until you use it, it hasn't been proven. Because you're going to be different in your response to her, to you, to me, right? Which is why the dietary market is a $17.4 trillion market a year.
Wow.
Trillion. It's massive. Because everybody wants to lose weight, and everyone wants to have lean muscle mass, and everybody wants to be healthier, and everybody needs a bar, or everybody needs a protein shake. That's a lot of money. Now, that does include gym memberships and things like that, but it all goes hand in hand. It doesn't include clothing. So imagine if we added the workout clothing, the shoes, the socks, the Lululemons and all that good stuff. Which, by the way, I love Lululemon, so don't come after me for that either. Okay, so some of you don't realize glucose is our blood sugar. Our body receives sucrose, glucose, and fructose no matter what, okay? It doesn't know any different. We all have high blood sugar or low blood sugar or normal blood sugar, okay? It's one of the three. There isn't anybody out there with no blood sugar. This is safe. It has a 0 sugar content. So how fun is that? So your glucose comes in from your chocolate cake or whatever, right? But it also can come in from carrots. It can come in from grapes. It can come in from a lot of other natural sources that people don't realize. It produces insulin. That's what's good for our body. If you're in good health and you've got good blood sugars going on, you don't have to compensate by taking insulin shots or pills, right? That insulin goes into glycogen and goes into the body fat, okay? So it is important for us to have a good insulin base. So the number one thing is make sure we put the cake on your balloon, okay? Because we can have a piece of cake, just not the whole cake. And the frosting can, and the spoon, and everything that goes with it, okay? All right. Slim and Sassy will help you do that. It will help. But you have to want to use it and have it accessible when that happens, which means you carry it in your purse, your briefcase, your suitcase, your dashboard. You might have to carry it in your pocket. You might have to put it on a little chain around your neck. Or you order the soft gels, and it makes it simple. I don't do the soft gels. I just do it underneath my tongue or in a water bottle. That's the way I choose to do it. There are soft gels, and it works just the same. And it supports the healthy management, which is number 4, of toxins in your body. So it goes to that bad cell like Pac-Man, and it's like, oh, I don't like those things. Everybody do this. Come on, wake up. Wake up. Right. So that's what happens. Guess what? You just started exercising. Woohoo! Yeah! All right. So I am going to send this around. And the other way, you guys saw me do this when we were on the Zoom live, is I just put it right on my stomach. Okay? Love this stuff. I put it on my saddlebags, just straight up topically, which is another way to utilize an essential oil. Smelling it and then drinking it, which is internal, aromatically, and topically. 3 ways to use an essential oil. You never put it in your ears, up your nose, or in your eyes, or up in anywhere, unless you've talked to a doctor or a professional. Toxins. Let's talk about those for a second. Because when we start to increase the goodness, the toxins have to go somewhere, right? Our body is full of petrochemicals, right? Petrochemicals are the same thing that you are going to find in a styrofoam plate. Would you put a drop of Slim and Sassy on this, please? Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so I just had her put 2 drops of Slim and Sassy on this styrofoam plate full of petrochemicals. You know, I used to love styrofoam plates. I don't like styrofoam anymore, but we have to use them up. Okay, that's basil. Well, this is basil. Okay, so we're going to just get right to basil. Basil is fantastic for adrenal glands. I'm not going to waste this basil. And your adrenal glands are also on the back right here, but it is a great, easy way to bring in energy. Basil, obviously, you guys, is an herb. So it's safe, it's convenient, and don't put your Zendocrine cap on your basil. Oh my gosh, you guys should smell this. It's so good. It is probably one of my favorite new finds. I've been using it for about 3 months for energy, and I absolutely love it. It's basil. If you go out and if you crush your basil leaves, that's what you're gonna get.
Smells just like basil.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if you guys can see this, but look, see the bubbles? It's starting to penetrate and eat that styrofoam. That's what it does to our fat cells. Woo! All right, everybody clap for the styrofoam today. We are full of styrofoam. All right.
That's why we're fat, because we're full of styrofoam.
Right, exactly. So the thing that we're going to talk about now is these toxins. So we have one oil that's going in and eating like Pac-Man, but the next one's going to come in, and our liver is the filtration system in our body. You either have a great functioning liver or you don't. Did you know that the liver, if you can catch it with 20% life, it's the second organ in the body that regenerates? Our skin is the first. It's the largest organ in our body, but the liver will regenerate itself. Isn't that amazing how we're made? Wow. All right, but toxins go in, goes to the liver, goes through the body fat. The liver is going to filter that out. So as you are going through this process, and you guys, this is going to take a while. This is not an overnight success thing. So be committed. You know, let me do something, 5 great things for this month in July. You know, there's 4 days left, right? Let's do something 5 good things in August. You know, whatever your thing is. I say 5 because that's how many balloons I have. But you start small. You know, because normally when we set huge expectations with no support group, with a very small mental capacity and a bad heart, guess what? You guys didn't get asked this question. However, what happens when you don't have anybody to push you or anybody to go with you? Do you get up off the couch, go to the gym, walk an extra mile? What? You start to eat food that doesn't satisfy you, find a different, vent. Anyway, the Zendocrine is going to help do that. So Zendocrine also comes in soft gels, but I also use Zendocrine straight up on my liver, and I also take it in a gel cap, which you can get gel caps from doterra.com. You can get them from oillife.com. You can get it from Aikens. You can get it from Sprouts. Make sure they're made in the USA. They're not bovine, and they're gelatin. And you can fill your own. You know, pretty simple. So look what it's doing. I don't get it from there. I don't do that. I obviously like this one because I copied it twice. Slim and Sassy. So we're going to go over the attributes of Slim and Sassy. Slim and Sassy, obviously, you guys, it's a metabolic blend, so it helps with metabolism. It's a supplement, right? And it helps manage appetite and lifts moods during dieting, which this is not a diet class by any means. It is a weight management class. There's a huge difference. I have my mother here, and in my entire life, I've never dieted because I watched everybody fail. I mean, I can't, you can't do something if you don't see success in it. You know, so I am a firm believer of good nutrition. Get up off your butt, get out there and exercise. If you can't get up off your butt, then get on the chair and figure it out. If you want good life, you're going to have to get it. You got to grab the bull by the horns, right? So it supports healthy metabolism of fat and energy production. It supports healthy insulin responses, and it supports management of toxins. So that's an overview for you guys. I'm going to email this to you so you guys have it, so you can share it. And like I said, in this particular one, if you are looking for weight loss and you are looking for weight management, I highly suggest getting the 2 trim shakes and 3 bottles of the doTERRA Slim and Sassy. That'll get you through the month. You know, I mean, for less than $100. If you have a wholesale membership, you know, for less than $100, you're getting a good start to health, right? And then you can add things as we go. 25 drops a day. All right. Right. So let's talk about that. Yeah. You can't just let it sit on the counter. You have to physically want it bad enough that you get up off of there and you go and you use the product or the vitamin or the oil. You know, I mean, if you don't use it, how many of us have bought things on clearance because we thought we'd use it and they are still sitting in our pantry, in our closet? Right. Stop it. Stop. Just don't do it anymore. You know, but sometimes it becomes like an addiction, right? And basil, by the way, is great for that. Not for stop shopping, okay? But anyway, lifelong vitality. You know, I would definitely say that this would be the next thing in this process. You know, you start training your brain, you start wanting it bad enough, and you start getting out and doing those extra steps, right? Maybe you get the trim shakes, and maybe you get the Slim and Sassy. Get a month's worth. 3 bottles will get you through the month, and the trim shake vanilla and the trim shake chocolate. However, you're going to want this. This company's number 1 selling product right here is Lifelong Vitality Pack. And it has the CRS, the E Omegas, and the what is that? The Microplex, the VMX2. I can't remember that. I can remember the old one, but I can't remember this one. However, I'm going to read this because there's so many great things, but it helps support cellular energy. It is stimulant free. Read that. There is no yuck in there. It also provides essential nutrients during calorie restriction and supports healthy insulin response. So, you know, everybody does vitamins. Everybody has their vitamins. You can get vitamins everywhere, right? You can even Groupon vitamins now, right now. I just saw that today. But I'm going to pass this around. Lifelong wellness benefits include general wellness and vitality, an antioxidant and a DNA protection, energy, metabolism, bone health, immune function, stress management, cardiovascular health, healthy hair, skin and nails, the eye, brain, and nervous system, liver function and digestive system, lung and respiratory health. They're gentle on the stomach. They're non-GMO, they're gluten-free, and they're dairy-free. Did you guys know that? And they're infused with some really awesome essential oils. Some of my favorite things. They're proprietary, they're marine and plant-based. So we do have a vegan supplement of these as well. But I'm going to pass these around. I would add this, I would definitely, and it's 30-day money-back guarantee. Right? Look right there. Says it. What a deal. I love it. The next thing, I take these on a daily basis. It is Terrazyme. And I talked about this earlier this week, and it's a digestive enzyme complex. But it supports nutrient absorption, cellular metabolism. So now we have 3 things that support cellular metabolism, right? And it supports insulin. This is the 3rd thing in this little packet. So remember when we first started, we talked about the fat, we talked about proteins, we talked about carbs, and the one thing that wasn't on there was what? Sugars. Sugars. But I brought sugars into it because it is really important when you're getting to a healthy weight or you're trying to manage to pull in good sugars, right? And good insulin. You get more for less, for sure. The Zendocrine complex is the one that I talked about, and I'm going to go back over that because it has clove and geranium, grapefruit, and rosemary in it. And this soft gel is just, they're really easy. They're simple to take. So that would be the next ad. The Terrazyme would be the next ad. And then the Zendocrine would be the next one. Okay, so now we're at what? Lifelong Vitality, which is 3 things. A trim shake and a chocolate, an orange or a chocolate. vanilla. Obviously, I like chocolate. A chocolate orange or a chocolate. Terrazyme. Okay, so that's the 4th thing. And Slim and Sassy. That's 5. Zendocrine, that's 6. You know, most packets, you've got a 21-day package. You've got 11 or 12 things to take in a day, and then you've got 14 to take in another day. I like simple, you guys. I like to start simple. So this is about as easy as it gets. The Slim and Sassy Trim Shake, which came out in with orange, it has less than 300 or 200 calories, right? And it has 16 grams of protein. It's low fat. It's low glycemic load, high fiber, and nothing artificial. So that is the most incredible blessing to be able to pick up something, and I don't have to check it. They have had engineers and doctors and researchers do it all for me. You know, I don't have to go, what's in that? Well, let's talk about that. What is in that? You know, you go right back here and you read it. Hey, Anita, how are you? All right. So this is the one thing that I want to talk to you about. And I never can say it, so I always say ashwagandha. That's the Essentia trim. So many people ask me about it. It is an actual, hey Tamara, how are you? It is an actual a ginseng root. Indian ginseng is what it is. So people are so afraid when they read something like this that people are trying to trick them. It's a non-GMO product. It's Indian ginseng. Okay, so it also helps with memory, right? So it's really fantastic for that. I'm going to talk about it just a little bit more so you guys understand Essentia, because the Essentia trim, which is what's added here, see where it says it right there, it is one that it is a patent outside of doTERRA, but it also is an extract. So it's from a root, a bark. It is really, really very potent. But do you guys remember when you said the number one thing for you was what? Stress. Okay, stress causes overeating. It causes bloating. It causes digestive. Constipation, diarrhea. I mean, you name it. It helps control cortisol levels, which you guys, cortisol is commonly caused right here in the midsection, which triggers accumulation of fat around the stomach, hips, and the thighs, and then it helps reduce stress-induced appetite and carb cravings. It supports cellular energy. And I am going to read this so someone does not make a mistake or interpret anything that I'm trying to say. But these statements, as well as many other products that are out on the market on the big box shelves right now, have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And individual weight loss results may vary and will depend on healthy lifestyle choices. We talked about that. Because what works for me may not work for you, which may not work for you, which may not work for you, which may not work for you. But if you start with your mind and you get to your heart, you're going to go forward, right? All right. So we've talked about just removing the fat less out of that, because skinny people are not necessarily healthy, right? So we've already talked about rest and management. We've talked about exercise. We've talked about eating right. We've talked about reducing the toxic load. What do you guys think that means?
Get rid of the chemicals coming into your body.
Right. The toxic load is when you can look at a box, a can, a bag, and you can't pronounce what's in it, you probably shouldn't eat it. And that's just the fact. And if you shop the perimeters of your grocery store and the lower shelves, you're going to find the freshest foods and the better bargains. Guaranteed. I've done this class. I've walked people through grocery stores. It's the most amazing thing. So shop from the outside in first and grab your fresh meats. You can buy good meats without the hormone injections. You're going to pay a little bit more for it, but your heart's going to be a lot happier because of it, right? All right, so eat smaller, eat smarter. Isn't that what every diet tells you to do? Mm-hmm. Eat smaller, eat smarter. And by the time you're finished, you've gained more than you've lost because you weren't full, right? So what do you do about that? How many calories do you need a day? Okay, let's say just roughly about 2,000. And did you know that 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories? Oh, wow. So that Whopper with extra fries and a large Coke, that's what it looks like in your body. That's just lovely. Okay. So, you're going to have to take a look at that. Fat loss per week. And I'm talking about, this is the smart way. Not everybody's going to lose. Hi, Judy, how are you? Not everybody's going to lose like this. Why? Because some people are taller, some people have bigger bone structures, some people have more stress, some people have more toxic load. Toxic load is not only the food, but it is if you're in an industry where there's lots of chemicals going on, or you have a huge amount of stress in your life, that creates a toxic load as well. All right? So 1 pound, 500 calories a day. Can you reduce your diet by 500 calories a day? Because most of us don't even know the caloric intake that we take on a daily basis.
That's true.
Okay? So the one thing is I could say, okay, get your journal out and let's count calories. There are programs for that, and you guys, you guys can obviously go, where to find that. Calorie counting programs. There's apps for that. There's all sorts of stuff. But how many of us actually do it? So when a diet says, okay, girls, here we go, we're going to lose a pound, which is 500 calories a day. You're like, woohoo, don't even know how much you eat. Okay? There's automatically a failure in that. But it is a safe, don't go any more than 4 pounds a week. Right? That would be 2,000 calories a day. Are you guys getting it? So if you get into these diets and you've got to read these diets, there's keto diet, there's lots of great diets out there. I don't diet. I weight manage and I exercise and I try to reduce my stress. I use that with essential oils. I eat healthier. I eat fresher. I eat organic. I mean, very rarely, I will have cookies. I do eat chips. I don't have soda. I do have popcorn and butter. I do have those things. But I don't eat the whole cake anymore. When you're a bulimic and you're recovered from that, you gorge and then you starve and then you gorge and then you starve. Well, I got to a point where I didn't do that, and I ended up weighing, like 178 pounds, which is not big for a lot of people, but when you are weighing 126, that was 50 pounds. I mean, it was a lot, for me, and I didn't like that, so, to me is, if you are having a starch or a carb, try a brown rice instead of a white rice, pasta, people love pasta, I get that, but make sure that you try not to eat everybody go like this. Everybody out there, hey Deb, hey Marsha, go like this. Okay, so when you put it on your plate, think about this. You put it on your plate, that's a plateful. Don't have any more than that. Is that doable? Most people do this, okay? Start here, because most people have a plate and they heap it or they fill it up or they go back for seconds and thirds, right? Start here. A handful of veggies, a handful of your starch or your carb, and a handful of meat. Then you start working down from there. Are you guys with me so far? Okay. And I'm going to show you why I say that. Okay, so here's my chart. Everybody see that? All right. Got a handful of your veggies. How many of you know without a shadow of a doubt that you don't eat a fistful of rice? Raise your hand. Right. Most of us eat like a plate full of rice. Well, you could try quinoa, okay? Or try a different grain that is not so intense with a high glycemic index, right? I'm not going to get too much into that because I've got people who are tired and ready to get this job on the road and eat my vanilla trim shake pancakes. All right. So for those of you who want this, I'll be glad to snapshot that to you, but it's a really simple way, and I'll pass this chart around so you guys can take a look at that. So your high water content, your whole fresh veggies, and here's the thing. When you've got so much toxic load coming in and you've got so much stress, you could look like you're 9 months pregnant. And I have experienced that bloat, okay? When you start to pull in fibers and proteins and stuff from fruits and vegetables, you might get a little gassy, which you might need to use some digestin or an essential oil, please. But eventually your body, as you're washing it out with water and you're removing those toxins, remember the big Pac-Man toxins we just talked about, it starts to get easier. Okay, so you might, what do they call it? Flatulence. you know, when you're using your complex carbs, your whole grains, your beans, your vegetable proteins, you just have to remember a fist. But if I put my fist on this plate, that's a lot. If I put a fist on the plate, so if that's the visual that you have to have, is that you have to have your dinner plate and you put your hand and your fist, then you will have a visual, okay? This isn't a diet, guys. This is weight loss, and I'm a retired coach, and I'm super, super passionate about training your head and training your heart, and then get to the rest of it. Then you're going to do low-fat animal proteins, fish and chicken, turkey, beans. You guys, these are great for you. Red meat every once in a while. You know, I'm not saying don't eat red meat. Simple sugars, dressings, spreads, and desserts. This is where I got the epic failure in diets, right here. Right? There's no way that I'm just using a thumb of Hershey's syrup or a thumb of whipped cream. So I go ahead and eat those things that I love, but I eat it in moderation. I don't eat it to where I've got an entire chocolate cake. Okay, well, maybe a brownie that fits this, but I have to get back the next day and get back on the horse and do the right thing, okay? And you have to train your brain not to go, oh, I could eat that chocolate chip and that pan of brownies and this burger and that French fry, and then next week, anybody in the room ever said that? Next week I'll start. No, you start right now. If you want it right now, you have to be disciplined enough to start it right now. So, I do have other fat loss accelerators. We're not going to walk through this, but I am really excited to say that when you start doing this, you really want to learn how to graze, okay? Because it is important that you eat something for breakfast, whether it's a trim shake with whole milk, just because you need that filler, or it's really important, you know, toast something, you know, eggs and bacon, eat it. It's okay. But graze, don't feast. You know, the biggest thing is making sure that you're eating 3 meals, and maybe you're snacking, you know, a little bit here, 6 snacks a day. If we really did that, we probably would be a lot better, you know? Hydration. You know, I said I'm not going to say drink 8 to 16 glasses of water, but do your best to move up to drink 5. 5 drops of Slim and Sassy times 5 drops of, or 5 bottled water is what? 25 drops. That's what it takes, right? Exercise. You know what? You eat less or eat better, and you exercise more. That's a no-brainer. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have more energy. Your heart's going to get healthier. Your mindset's going to be sharper, and you're going to what? You're going to lose. You're going to lose some inches. You may not lose any weight, but you'll notice that your clothes don't fit as well, right? We got a winter chicken dinner over here for sure. You know, how many of you know that you could commit to grabbing somebody and say, "Go walk with me. Come on, let's go." Or take me to the park and let me take my grandkids and go swing them for a little bit. You know, Zach wouldn't let you swing him, but I don't know. He might. You know, but if you're doing nothing, why couldn't you commit to 20 minutes a week? Okay, and then the next month, why don't I do 20 minutes 2 times? You know, let this be a process. But you guys, don't pull this big expectation thing of I'm losing 200 pounds by August 1st. That is in 4 days, by the way.
That won't happen.
Right? No.
No.
You know, let's talk about the health benefits. Everybody stand up. Stand up, you guys. Stand up. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to jump. Woohoo! All right. Do not jump. But get up. You got to get up. You know, you got to get up. Hi, Anne-Marie. And what if you just stood up and you touched your toes or your knees? Try to touch your knees.
I can touch my toes.
Well, touch your toes. Okay. So everybody's standing up, and then we're all grunting, and also, you know, I mean, you really should hear the room in here. We're grunting, we're, you know.
She's talking about you,
But,
Mom.
no. But what I'm saying is that you're up. And what if you sat back down? If you couldn't touch your toes or your knees, and then you stood back up, and you sat back down. You guys, that's exercise. You sit up, you stand up. Or you sit down, you stand up. You sit down, you stand up. You know, better not. No, Marsha, I don't want you to do it while you're driving. But you can get out, run around your car, and then get back in. All right.
At a stoplight, though, okay?
Health benefits of exercise. It burns calories and stores as fat. So we have the good fat that's being stored for energy. We have bad fat. That's what we want to burn off, right? Number 2, it strengthens your heart and lungs. Remember, at the very beginning of this class, I said the mindset's what you have to train first. The number 1 enemy is fat. Number 2 is your brain. 3 is your heart. You got to get your heart in a good place, because if not, you're not going to want to go because you don't have any energy, right? And if you get there and you can't breathe, you're like, I sure am not doing that tomorrow. Forget it. All right. It improves muscles and bones. It improves mobility and flexibility. It reduces stress and improves rest. It enhances mood and emotional outlook. It's fun. It's social. It's sexy, etc., etc., etc. All right. Well, there you are. So you really just want to start. I mean, isn't that the whole thing? Mm-hmm. You're here, right? Some of you checked in. I have all of this stuff. I can send it to you guys in a PDF if you want to send me a message or post it your email right here on Facebook. But I want to end this. We're going to make, with the vanilla trim shake, we are actually going to make a pancake. And I have, did I bring my bananas? Oh no. Did I bring the bananas? Anybody see bananas?
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen bananas.
I'm not making my pancakes. I'm so sad right now. They're sitting on my counter. All right. Well, we're going to fake that I'm making my pancakes. So, there's my eggs. All right. So, to make the trim shake pancakes, it's real simple. I'm so mad right now. It's 2 very ripe bananas. I mean, it's pretty simple. And 2 eggs. And then it's a half a cup of the trim shake. And I'll make a... Okay, that's chocolate. I really love chocolate, you guys. You have no idea. I mean, I cannot believe.
How much Slim and Sassy?
Half a cup for this one. Am I sure? No. Maybe they're in my bag. I'm so mad right now. Oh, sorry, guys. Make sure they didn't fall in my bag. I guess not. Okay, so anyway, this is what you do when you don't have it. So it's a half a cup of the vanilla trim shake, right? Brought everything else. Half a cup of the vanilla trim shake, and you're actually just going to put it in a bowl like this, right? And then you have 2 ripe bananas, super ripe bananas, and 2 whole eggs. And then you are actually going to, hang on just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Anyway, so it's a half a cup of the vanilla trim shake, 2 very ripe bananas, and then your 2 eggs. You're going to blend those together. That's all you do. You blend it together, you mash it up, and then you're going to scoop it out, and that makes your pancakes. And they're really light. No flour, no nothing. And then you're going to top that. We have some cookie butter that you can top that with, or you can actually put some nut butter, or like the almond butter or the peanut butter instead of just regular butter, right? And it is amazing. And if you want to follow me to my house, I'll make them for you. My gosh. But there's no milk in it. There's nothing. It is a half a cup of vanilla trim shake. It is 2 ripe bananas and 2 eggs. And they settle up. They're a little bit thinner. I mean, obviously, they're not going to be, the thick, like fluffy. They're a little bit thicker than crepes, but it's super easy. It's super yummy, and my boys eat them all. So it renders about 12.
Can you substitute other fruits?
Yeah. No, not on this one, and because it actually acts as a binder. Oh, so the bananas are super important in this one, or it will fall apart and go away. I don't know any other fruit that I could use that would be a binder like a banana. But it's one that we use. We Daniel fast, so it's one that we can use. We can have pancakes when we Daniel fast because there's no flour in it whatsoever. So it's really fun to be able to make these. And that's just an easy way to show you how diverse a trim shake is. You're still getting the proteins, no sugars in this. There's no flour, non-GMO. So you've got it. You do have 2 eggs, so there is dairy in there for those of you who are literal. And then the last thing that I want to share, I'm so bummed that you don't have those bananas. Will you text Todd and tell him to bring me my bananas?
No.
Why? So anyway, I forgot my bananas, so I can't make them for you.
Forgot.
Yeah. So anyway, the last thing that I want to share with you guys is a Slim and Sassy wrap. Okay, how many of you have ever bought a body wrap like this and it swore you were going to lose inches and reduces toxins? Do you guys even know what this is? I have it covered because I'm not going to blow this out of the way, but I used to buy them all the time. And yeah, it was great. My body looked a little toner and I did lose just a little bit, not a huge significant amount. But I learned to do this all on my own. So I have my own little spray bottle. And to my spray bottle, I'm going to add grapefruit, which is fine for people. Our grapefruit is fine for people. That's 12 drops of grapefruit that have high blood pressure because this comes from the essential oil of the rind and not from the essential oil of the fruit. So it is safe. And you're going to do 10 drops of lime because this is just a little 4 ounce. You're doing 25 drops of Slim and Sassy. You're doing 20 drops of lemon. And then you're going to add 10 drops. What did you say? You'll fake it till you make it. Yep, all the time. 10 drops of cypress, you guys. It's cypress, it smells so good. And then the last thing is I'm going to also put 10 drops of Zindecrine.
What are you making? A wrap?
It's a wrap oil. It's a spray. So what happens with that is I just take this and I shake it up.
He's on his way.
And shake, 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 shake. Okay, we're going to have banana pancakes before this ends because my husband is the hero of the day in bringing me my bananas. So, you spray this on, right? Spray it.
Any water or anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's just straight oil. Because I've tried to dilute this, you guys. It does not work.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what I do when I'm at my home. This is just saran wrap. Okay, now I'm getting real with everybody. It's just saran wrap. It's nothing fancy. But you have to make sure that you have the saran wrap where you can unwrap it, right? Don't you love it?
If frozen, it unwraps better.
Oh, did you guys hear that tip? Oh my gosh, when you keep saran wrap frozen, it unwraps better. I'm totally doing that.
My daughter learned that off of Rachel Ray.
Ah, thanks
totally
for
works.
It does?
Yes. It does.
That's awesome.
My saran, if you ever look for my saran wrap in my house, it's in the freezer.
It's in the freezer. Who knew? Okay, so we have the Rachel Ray tip of the day. And she's not a paid sponsor, by the way. So you just take this and you're just wrapping it on your belly. Literally. You're becoming a saran wrap chick. All right. So you just do it nice and tight. It doesn't have to be like super powerfully tight or whatever. You just want to make sure that you go around a couple of times. And these are about 15 bucks a wrap or $20 a wrap. This is $1.12. And I have the same wrap. Now you can get really, really intense with this and make it with cocoa butter and add more oils to it and really put it on. Then you put a cotton gauze over it and then you put this on. But it is not necessary. I get the same serious results. With this, there's different things that are out on the web. You can look up Slim and Sassy wrap. There's one that has like 40 different oils in it. I don't know that you need to explain that, but I have 6, and that's plenty. I mean, I've gotten results with that. And I use Slim and Sassy just by itself. You know, so if you're looking for that extra oomph, or you have super sensitive skin, go ahead and take the gauze wrap, the cotton gauze, and put that over. So you spray it, cotton gauze it, and then do this. And you can walk around, you can mow the yard with it, you can go to the grocery store. You might sound a little funny, but I don't care. Somebody should be touching me anyway, right?
Exactly.
So I've gone to the grocery store with this. I've worked out in the yard with it, and it's really great in the yard because it really burns that out. But you know what else it does? It brings in that goodness to what? The cortisol area of the body. So, what time is it?
6:30.
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Almost finished. All right, so that's how I do that. And we're almost here with the bananas, maybe. Don't know yet.
Yeah, we're done.
Does he know we're here? At this one? so not the other one. So that is the Slim and Sassy wrap with the Slim and Sassy oil. Just put it right here into this. Don't forget, you guys, if you want the PDF of this or any of the visuals that I've given you guys, you probably need to make sure I have your email. Most of you have. You guys can get this right here. The trim shake comes in vanilla, orange, or chocolate. And you also want to take a look at the Terrazyme. And then also, where's the other? Oh, Mitomax is the last one. Mitomax is the most fun for me because it's an easy way to get an energy and a stamina boost. You know, I don't get the jitters. It's a very organic. There's nothing that is pharmaceutical in there. There's nothing chemical in this. So if you've never tried Mitomax, I totally would try that. And let's recap the oils that we've talked about. We talked about eucalyptus, and eucalyptus and grapefruit together are fun fat fighters. You can smell those as well, and it just gives a good aroma, I think anyway. Zindocrine, that's basil. Basil is going to be fantastic for your adrenal glands. You're going to put it here, and you can also put it on the back where the dimples are at the lower part of the back. Zindocrine is going to be the one that you use to the detoxification blend. It's fantastic to take in a capsule. You can also take it in a little shot glass, or you can put it straight on the liver. So you can use that. It also comes in soft gels. Then lime and lemon, which is our favorite citrus right here. Lemon is going to be fantastic. Lemon and lime both for flavoring some waters as you guys get into this habit, as you get into this training. And then lemon is one that is great for helping fight that cortisol and inflammation. And then Slim and Sassy, the rock star of the hour, is right here. On Guard.
If you're taking the capsules instead of the liquid, you said 25 drops of that.
Mm-hmm.
How many capsules would you need?
5.
5.
Yeah. We do 5 each. I mean, it's 25 capsules, 25. Right? Basil we talked about. And then cypress. Cypress was one that just brings in that great cardiovascular, but it also is a fat fighter as well. And lastly, we haven't talked about this one, but On Guard. On Guard is our immunity booster. And sometimes as you're fighting toxins and changing your diet and exercising, how many of you have ever felt like that flu-y, coldy symptom that comes along? Well, your body's just saying, hey, I'm getting in a place where I'm repairing itself. You can take a couple of drops of On Guard, rub it on the bottom of your feet on a nightly basis, and you can help prevent that. I also use it on the glands. It has clove and it has cinnamon bark, so if you have sensitive skin, obviously you need to pay attention to that. But also, if you're using the citrus oils, lemon, lime, or grapefruit, it does have skin sensitivity because they are citrus oils. So we're going to wait for my bananas, see what happens, and from here on out, if you've got any questions about purchasing these items, let me know. And thank you guys. We appreciate it. Bye.